What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Six Pack Bass YouTube channel. If you're new, my name is Harley. We cover all things XFL, and today's video, yes, it's that time of the week. I'm bringing you my weekly picks for week 5 of the XFL. After this week, we will be halfway through the inaugural season. Halfway through the inaugural season. That is crazy, crazy, crazy to think. Only 5 weeks left, and then we are into the playoffs. I went 2 for 2 last week. I actually picked one of the upsets, the Vipers upsetting the Defenders. However, my Renegades could not get it done against the Roughnecks. Nonetheless, 2-2. Let's throw up the standings though after week 4. So in the East, we have the St. Louis Battlehawks leading the way at 3-1. The DC Defenders and New York Guardians both at 2-2. Keep in mind, DC gets the nod though with the touchdown differential, the head-to-head in this case. And the Tampa Bay Vipers finally got on the board and are at 1-3. East is pretty tight, so still wide open. Anybody's game. Let's flip over to the West. Houston Roughnecks sitting at 4-0, only undefeated team left in the league. Dallas Renegades at 2-2, and then the LA Wildcats and Seattle Dragons are tied at 1-3. All right, so let's jump into my power rankings real quick. We had some movers.
Imagination movers.
Houston Roughnecks at 1, St. Louis Battlehawks at 2, Dallas Renegades at 3, Tampa Bay Vipers, impressive win. I have them back up to number 4. New York Guardians at 5, LA Wildcats at 6, DC Defenders at 7, and rounding out the bottom, I have the Seattle Dragons. Let's jump into it. So game 1 of week 5, we have the Seattle Dragons taking on the Houston Roughnecks. This one's going to be Saturday, March 7th, 1 p.m. Central, the time on this one. ABC has the coverage. This one's pivotal game for Seattle. They're in desperation mode.
I'm desperate.
They're already sitting at 1-3. I do not want to drop 4 games in a 10-game season, so gonna have to pull out all the stops in this one. Interested to see who they roll with at quarterback. Will it be Silvers? Will it be BJ Daniels? I talked about this previously. I'm hoping that it's BJ Daniels. Zorn has to throw everything in the kitchen sink. Telling stat here, guys. Seattle has yet to break the 20-point mark. All season, they have not scored more than 20 points. They scored 19, but they have not broke 20 points. Gonna have to do it today against this Houston Roughneck team. You guys know they put up a ton of points. Houston continues to roll on to the beat of their own drum. I said it last week. The defense to me was their one lone susceptible spot, and they came out balled out. Had 5 turnovers in that Dallas Renegades game. Defense is dialed in, offense is dialed in. I don't see them having any issues with Seattle. I've got them winning at home 34-16. Moving on to game 2, we see the New York Guardians taking on the Dallas Renegades. This is 2 teams coming in at 500, so very important for both of them. 4 p.m. Central. Fox has the coverage on this one, guys. New York is seeking their very first road win, so both of their wins have been at home. Of course, you guys know up in New York last week we had snow, so the elements were a factor. Now they have to come travel down to Texas, take on the Renegades. The Renegades are actually seeking their first home win, so both of their wins have been on the road, so kind of 2 different tales there. Luis Perez will be asked to do a lot more than he was last week. You know, I said that he was serviceable in that game, ran the offense well, but he's definitely going to be asked to stretch the field against this Renegades team. Dallas, not sure who they're going to roll with at quarterback. More than likely it's going to be Philip Nelson, but I wonder how short his leash actually is. With that said though, no matter who's at quarterback, I think this team needs to lean on their 2 running backs, Artis Payne, Lance Dunbar. Payne train. Gonna have to run the ball. That's gonna set up the play action and hit their tight end Parham. I've got Dallas getting their first home victory in a close one, 20-17. They move on to 3-2. Guardians drop to 2-3. However, I believe the Guardians with Luis Perez are better than they were with McGloin.
Duh.
Let's jump into Sunday's matchups. Game 3, we've got the Seattle Battlehawks.
Strike that. Reverse it.
Taking on the DC Defenders. This one's March 8th, 2 p.m. Central on this one. Fox Sports 1 with the coverage. DC is going to be super pumped to get back home. Had a tough time out on the road. They are back home in this one, but it does not get any easier. They just come off of dropping 2 massive losses, and they get to face the number 1 team in the East. However, if they can somehow manage to pull this one off, it'll put them deadlocked right there at first, right where they want to be in the playoff push. Tiamu continues to shine. and I foresee him continuing to shine. Like I said, whether he has to run, whether he has to throw, read the defense, right now he is performing at a very high level. Been impressed. He's coming off player of the week status. They bring a balanced offense. You want to stop the run, they can throw the ball. You want to stop that, then they can run the ball, both with Tiamu and their running backs. So gonna be a test for DC. DC has to make a statement here, guys. They are on life support, in my opinion. Came out the gate one of the hottest teams, and for the last 2 weeks we have seen a complete flat line. Cardell, gonna have to make some plays, man. Whether it be with your legs, whether it be with your arm. I haven't seen him connect with Ross on those deep throws. I've seen him attempt it a couple of times, especially in last week's game, but he just overthrows him by a few yards. They're gonna have to clean that up because they're gonna have to score against St. Louis. I don't think it happens though. I think St. Louis comes in, knows what's at stake. They're coming off a high of having back-to-back home games. They get it done. St. Louis takes the W, 24-12. This is my game of the week just because these two teams are competing for that number one spot in the East. Jumping into the nightcap, we have the Tampa Bay Vipers taking on the LA Wildcats. 8 p.m. Central, ESPN has the coverage here. Tampa Bay is coming off their very first victory. I will note though, this game is in LA, and if you guys remember, I talked about any team that travels from coast to coast, they tend to struggle. So can Tampa Bay break that jet lag curse? Cornelius is going to be key in this game. He definitely looked better than any other option that they've had so far at quarterback. I was impressed with him last week. Going to continue to be asked to do more. See them opening up the playbook a little bit more with him, getting him more comfortable in that offense. Patrick and Smith, running backs for Tampa Bay, are going to be a threat. Really, this whole season have been able to get their way. Last week they averaged, both of them averaged over 5 yards a carry. If you're averaging over 5 yards a carry, you don't even have to throw the ball. You just run. Boogity, boogity, boogity. I definitely will foresee a heavy dose of that going forward. LA must be better on third down. Last week, 2 of 12 on third down. You go 2 of 12, you're not winning many football games. So gonna have to clean it up on third down, sustain those drives, especially with a team like Tampa Bay who's gonna utilize that clock run, have those long drawn out drives. Can Josh Johnson rejuvenate this offense? He came out hot as a firecracker against DC. Lit it up, and we thought they were back. I will give him a little bit of leniency because he was without his running back and Nelson Spruce was out last week. It was cold. They were on the road. So now they're at home, that lovely LA weather, so no excuses here. I'm not sure if Spruce or Carter are going to play in this one, but nonetheless, you're at home. You have to produce. However, I think that they fall short. I think Tampa Bay is riding that high. They're starting to click and hit on all cylinders. I've got Tampa Bay taking this one 26-20. God, I want to thank you so much for your kind comments. You guys are killing it. I mean, I've got comments that I didn't think I would ever get, and I just want to thank you guys so much for those. I love producing these videos for you. I love this league. I hope that it is sustainable because I want to continue to build this. I know that we are ever steadily growing. Progress is a little slow right now, but I'm just going to keep at it. You guys keep at it. Keep pumping my content. If you're not already, do me a favor. I've said this before. Hit that subscribe button. Join the Six Pack Bass community. We're going to be covering this league all year long and however long it stays around. Smash that like button. That just lets me know you enjoy this content. I come out with weekly videos covering this league. If you're not already, follow me on the other social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Give me a follow. I would love to connect with you. Jump down in the comment section. You know the drill. What are your picks for this week? Who are you taking? I want to hear from you. Don't just put the team, the score. I'd like to know why. I want to pick your brain a little bit. Tell me why you're picking who you pick. That's all I have for this one, guys. I can't wait for this weekend. Get those games kicked off. You guys have a good one. I'm out.